7:13, Alabama's Morning News. I'm JT, and last night they are saying it was the final hearing of this January 6th committee going after President Trump and everybody associated with him. John, our producer, and I were talking about this, and it basically is a big, huge infomercial as to why you should hate President Trump and never let him back into the White House. And we're just going to paint the picture for you here. In fact, we're going to produce it so well, we might even be up for an Emmy. Joining us now to talk a little bit more about this, Gabriella Hoffman from Young Voices, political columnist. Welcome back in, Gabriella.
Good to be back. Thank you for having me this morning.
You know, I tried to punch over and watch a little bit of it, and I'm like, nope, there it is again. The same old, the circus, the witch hunt, whatever you want to call it, the misrepresentation of President Trump's intentions in all of this. Boy, they paint him as a ringleader of a guy that was really enhanced to push people into attacking and breaking the law and hurting people inside the Capitol. None of that ever happened. But boy, the spin was strong, wasn't it?
Like you, I think I was only able to catch bits and pieces on social media because it is really hard to sit through proceedings like that, especially as well-crafted and very, let's say, ginned up it is. It's kind of hard to follow it because you learn the inner workings of it, and it doesn't seem fair whatsoever. It just seems very much fitting into the palm of the Democrats' wishes. That's all they really have right now, especially against all these other crises, energy, inflation, and the like. And so they want to have a well-produced show because they're not going to likely be in charge come November. We'll see. With a forecasted red wave. So they're going to milk this as much as they can, certainly, and to try to impugn the former president. But I think other factors could hurt Trump aside from January 6th. I don't think January 6th really is what would hurt him. It's whether or not he is a kingmaker and he has a lot of victories under his belt. I think that is more so of a test of this. But they may use this to try to convict him a third time and really, really make him kind of this undesirable candidate. But I think much of the base would disagree by what you look at it, but it remains to be seen if he more so gets toppled because of a challenge from the right, from, let's say, Ron DeSantis or someone similar to that versus January 6th. That's kind of how I read into it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think there's any real relevance, rather, and does the American people as a whole really give a rip about this January 6th stuff anymore? It's like, oh my gosh, I mean, on and on and on and on and on. I mean, the criminal investigation took place. People that were involved in the actual crimes and the rioting and harming people and destroying property are being prosecuted and handled by the law. Yep. And let's not forget that President Trump did say, go home, peacefully protest if we're going down to the Capitol. You know, he never said, you get in there like Maxine Waters did and say, get in their faces, create a problem, hassle them to the point if they can't stand it and have to get away. You remember all that nightmare madness from Maxine Waters years ago? There was nothing like that coming from President Trump's mouth. In fact, quite the opposite when he spoke about it after the fact and trying to diffuse it as it was going on. They're screaming, well, he should have done something earlier. In fact, he was pushing for this. And you know what? No, it's a tired old record, heard this over and over and over again. And you're right. What's important to the American people and even Democrats now are what's happening to the American folks with their money, with the illegals coming across this border, the prices, the energy madness that's going on with the policies here. I'm tired of it, obviously. And I know there's a lot of folks that are just eating popcorn on the Democratic side of things to say, yeah, let's watch this. More fun as they tear and rip down President Trump. Isn't this good? What's the end game? It's not really going to have any point in relevance when it comes to the midterms.
It's just to maybe satiate their interest in keeping this issue alive. It's very much like what some Republicans are doing to try to keep 2020 election. Democrats are trying to keep January 6th alive. Most of the country is trying to move forward from both of those things. Not the best outcome, 2020. I think people have a lot of buyer's remorse now with what's happened from 2020 election with the election of Biden. And people are seeing January 6th, and they're like, there's other things on our mind. Like you said, the people who were charged with organizing have been prosecuted, and people will be punished to the fullest extent of the law. But does it really affect people outside the Beltway or New York City? You look across the country, and the answer is no. I travel very, very much across the country. I talk to people randomly, and when I hear them speak about what's on their mind, this is not anywhere near the top of their list of concerns.
Right. I don't think
and
most people,
you even talk to people on social media, too. Same way.
It never comes up. You're right. I talk with folks all the time about this because of the job that I do, and we get into discussions about where we're at in this country, and nobody ever says, yeah, how about the January 6th thing? I'm like, never comes up. Never happens. You're right. Gabriella, thank you so much for being with me this morning. From Young Voices, the political columnist, Gabriella Hoffman.